Hello folks, Killer Be Killed here again, bringing you another tournament video from the Wizards Forum. This was in our third tournament, iPad tournament, ran by Thornbloom, and I'm playing a fella named Scorpion Danny, who's a pretty solid player. I end up choosing Goblins, and he's playing Born Aflame. I run a Goblin Haste build, so it's going to be an interesting matchup to see how it does against Born Aflame, because Born Aflame is actually a great deck to counter Goblins, because you got lots of card advantage, lots of removal. And basically, if I was playing Born Aflame against Goblins, I'd want to just basically stall, remove a little life as much as I can until I can drop a Titan or something of that nature, a Hostility, anything of that nature. So notice here, I started off game one with like a dream hand. Against any other deck in the game, I'd pretty much be like, wow, this game's over. I got a Goblin guy turn 1, 2/2 haste Goblin. I'm already attacking. I have 2 Goblin grenades in my hand, a Goblin War Strike. I have another haste creature to drop on turn 2. This is just a very good Goblin hand to start with. But at the same time, you have to realize you're playing Born Aflame. And Danny's running a creature-light deck, a lot of burn heavy, which I think is the best way to run the Born Aflame deck. So again, I'm getting creatures out. I'm just trying to... At this point in the game, I have 2 Goblin Grenades in my hand, so my sole goal is to get him to 10 as quick as I can. That's all I'm trying to do. I know he can kill my creatures, but I'm just going to keep casting him and keep swinging until I get him to 10, and I'm just going to use both Goblin Grenades. It's my sole plan here. But this is, like I said, what I'm worried about. You know, he's going to start killing my creatures. If he gets an Inferno Titan on the board or a Hostility or something like that, I'm going to have big trouble. So I'm on a clock here, actually, against him. If he can withstand the early rush, then, you know, Goblins is going to struggle in the late game against... Goblins going to struggle in the late game against everybody. Goblins are meant to win fast and early. And you see there, he clears my board. This point, the Goblin Ringlet, that's a good card because I know I'm going to lose a lot of creatures, so at some point I can cast it. Hopefully it puts 2 Goblins back in my hand. And again, I'm just running out with this Haste Goblin. I'm going to swing with it. I'm trying to get him to 10. I have 2 Goblin Grenades in my hand. This is all I want to do. So this first game... a little kind of boring, I'd say. It's just, you know, cast a creature, swing, wash, rinse, repeat. Nothing really going on. He's doing his best to burn me, but he doesn't know I have 2 Goblin Grenades in my hand, so really nothing he can do about it. I'm stuck at 2 mana. Notice he's stuck at 2 mana. I think we both were a little hurt in this game, but that impacts him more than me. Because I could actually do 10 damage to him right now with just 2 mana on the board. So, I mean, that's the strength of the Goblin deck. You don't need a lot of mana to get going. You don't actually want a lot of mana. I'm not running any of the top heavy creatures in this deck. I think the most expensive one I have is a Siege Gang Commander at 5 mana. I got him down to 14 now, and I'm like, I'm debating, should I sacrifice the Ember Hauler? I'll swing with it, maybe sacrifice it, then put another creature on and destroy it. And you're going to see where I think I make a mistake in a minute. I hit him with War Strike because I know the game's just about over. I want to get him under 10. Generally, I wouldn't use that for just 2 damage, but I know I'm not going to multiply Goblins against him because he's using the burn deck, so anything to get him below where I need him to be. Again, he has 2 mana. He's discarding cards. I finally draw my 3rd mana. This is dangerous what I do here because he can actually maybe Searing Sphere one of my creatures in an instant, and then I'd actually lose my Goblin Grenade. I could actually sacrifice the Ember Hauler if he did it, but again, I would lose my win condition right here. He would be at 2 life still. Eventually, I'd probably still get to win this game, but since he's stuck at 2 mana, it didn't really matter. But again, this might not have been the smartest play. Once he let the first one go, though, I kind of just went through with the second one. So this is a quick Goblin win there. He was stuck at 2 mana, I was stuck at 2 mana, but my deck performs better than his with 2 mana. You have so many haste creatures you can cast in, and so much you can do. And that kind of shows you how dangerous the Goblin deck could actually be. That game didn't go very long, and I only had 2 mana on the board, and I got a win. I don't have any first turn drops here, but again, this isn't a bad hand. Against his deck, you know, it's still, game. I think this would be a great starting hand. Sure, I'll take a Goblin Guide over one of the cards, but what are you going to do? 4 mana or 3 mana and some creatures just really too good to pass up. There's a Chieftain in there. Kranko's Command. Cast that out first. I'm just going to put multiple copies of Goblins on the board. Hopefully he can't burn them both in one turn. Maybe he can take out one. I'm just trying to build up a Goblin army here. This game was actually really close. It goes for a while. We go back and forth doing pretty much 2 damage to each other, and eventually he gets the win at the end. But just shows how evenly matched up these 2 decks can be if they're built properly. This is where he gets a little bit of card advantage. Well, not really in this case, but normally, I can't even say card advantage here, but he's burning me and killing a creature in the same turn, so that's actually a positive. That card's very good. But there's other cards in his deck, like what was it, Flames of the Firebrand or whatever that is, that where you can basically kill 3 of my creatures with 1 card. So that's the strength of his deck. Because I have a lot of little small creatures, but he has cards that can basically give him card advantage and wipe out 2 or 3 of my creatures in 1 shot. So I have to be careful I don't overextend. He has ways to wipe the board with an Earthquake or a Chain Reaction, stuff like that. So I have to play enough creatures to keep the pressure on, to keep his burn off of my face, but I also, at the same time, it's, you know, there's a dilemma. If he wipes the board and I'm top decking, well, he's going to top deck a Hostility, and that's not going to be good for me when we're in a battle at the end of the game. So Goblins are really powerful early. If you don't win the game early, your chances of winning go down dramatically as the game goes on. And again, this is what I'm talking about. He's at 15, I'm at 15. We're just going to go back and forth. Probably, I'd say, about 5 more turns like this. And eventually, he's going to come out on top this game. There's a second Flame Slash. So, I mean, he had a pretty good draw this game. For a single mana, he's killing my creatures. With Flame Slashes, that card's very underpriced. That's a great card. 1 mana does 4 damage to any creature. And notice my land count with Goblins. I have 5 land on the board and 2 in my hand. I am getting a little land flooded here. This I wasn't sure. Should I have devoured that? Should I have sacrificed it? Should I have waited with it? This might have been a mistake on my part. Probably should have casted the Pile Driver first. What I was hoping was that it would survive a turn, because maybe a Searing Sphere can't kill it. He only has 3 cards in his hand. A Searing Blaze can't kill it. So I was actually just casting it because it had 4 health. I was hoping it lived. It's a flyer. I could either block him and do damage or swing for damage. So I think that's why I ended up casting that. In hindsight, I wonder maybe if I cast the Pile Driver first. As you're going to see, he uses 2 cards here to kill it. So and I could actually blocked his 2/2 there. I chose not to because I figured it out. I don't know why I didn't block that, actually. That was actually a terrible move on my part, not blocking that. Oh, actually, I know why I didn't block that, because I didn't want to get down to 2 health for this reason. I didn't want the Searing Sphere to be able to kill me. I figured if I block it, he hits me with a 2 mana thing at the time, but he had it anyway, so he was able to kill it. Actually, that's why I didn't block. I figured I'd let him do 2 damage and I'll swing with 4, but if I blocked it, then any card he had in his hand that did 2 or 3 damage would have killed me. Just so it turns out that he had 2 cards he could cast in that same turn with the mana he had that could kill it. So That didn't work out too well for me. Now in hindsight, I'm wishing I cast the pile driver first and he killed that. Or I bring it out next turn and devoured it. It might have worked out a little better for me, but that's the way it goes. Magic, these were competitive games, so win or lose, I'm happy with the results. I always like playing talented opponents who run tightly, bound 60 card decks and know what they're doing. Makes the game of Magic a lot more fun. Notice I'm at 11, he's at 11, he's swinging at me, so that one little, the 4-4 I had, that could have turned the tide of the game for me. So I second guessed what I did there, but you know, what are you gonna do? As they say, hindsight is 20/20. I keep debating, do I want to, now I'm gonna have to sacrifice the Ember Hauler because he's gonna kill it anyway with his Earthquake. So now the dilemma is, do I kill his 2/2 or do I do 2 damage to him? This is my whole dilemma here. The only thing is I'm making him spend 3 mana. He's going to get his 2/2 right back, no matter what. But he has to spend 3 mana to cast it. It has haste, so it's going to be able to attack next turn anyway, but it saves me from a burn spell. And when I'm at 9 health, and he's at 11, and I don't really have any goblins in my hand, I thought it was safer to kind of stall him a turn. Like, he can't cast that and something else this turn, so... And we'll see if those 2 damage would have made things different or not. You know that's coming back out. He has the medallion, so... Again, he can still cast up to 3 mana card, so maybe I could have just hit him with the damage, but... Really didn't do nothing but make him waste 2 mana. So probably should have had him down to 6 right now. I'd still be at 5. The dilemma with this card is, do I devour my 1/1 or do I let it go? And I probably should have, I think I can devour, or should I sacrifice him? The Goblin Ring, the Haste Goblin. Should I sacrifice him, make him a 5/5? Probably. And if I did make him a 5/5, he'd be at 3 life. And if I sacrifice the Ember Hauler and hit him, he'd be at 1 life right now. So he would not be dead. He's swinging. I'm down to 3 life. He's down to 4. And obviously he has 1 card in his hand, and it is a burn spell. So that's the game. That's game number 2. Close game, but he edged me out in the end. Might have made a few mistakes here or there, but I thought overall I still played solidly. I think he just... played well and got the win, so nothing I can do about that. I was happy with the game because it was competitive. And now we're in our best out of 3, round 3 here. See what happens. During this game, we're going to see just how dangerous the Goblin deck can actually be. There's one point where I think I get him down to 15, and I'm actually able to kill him in a single turn, but he kills one of my creatures, so... And he actually ends up basically playing a card that wins him the game next turn, but not to spoil the ending here of this movie. But, yes, Danny beat me 2-1 this round. He did a good job. Steamrolling my Goblin deck. The only reason I chose Goblins is because we played this game actually the same day the DLC was released with the iPad. And I got home from work and I really wanted to play the DLC, so I was like, you know, I'm just going to play the Goblin deck. And win or lose, they're going to be really, really fast games, so I can basically get the tournament match out of the way and go fool around with the new DLC. So, generally I don't play Goblins too much, but this is the reason why I did it. Alright, so now I cast 2 Goblin Arsonists here. Basically, I could have cast the Warcry Goblin, but I figured if he's going to burn these creatures, they do 2 damage to him, so might as well get them out there first. Again, land not an issue for me, land's not an issue for him right now. It's turn 3, we both have 3 lands. This is sort of a decoy, the Warren. I'm like, well, yeah, maybe, you know, if he only has a couple creature removals, you know, maybe he'll kill that one and I can keep the Chieftain alive, but it's never going to happen. He has the burn deck, so pretty much all of his cards, if they're not land, they're somehow killing my creatures, so. But I have to play creatures no matter what, so. And there we go. This is a little card advantage. Chain reaction. He plays one card. It removes 3 of mine from the board. So I'm actually lucky I didn't play the Battle Cry, the War Cry out there, or the Chieftain, because those would both be going right now. And again, he could have an Earthquake in his hand still too, so another board clearing thing, or even a Flame Break. Flame Break clears the board for me too. Anything with health of 3 or less dies, and that's pretty much every Goblin I have. I'm going to start with the 2 single Goblins, because I know if I put a Chieftain out there, or one of the other ones, it's probably just going to die. Send him out there, we'll see what happens. If I had another mana, I would have probably cast the Chieftain and the Warcry, then been able to swing and do damage that turn, but I didn't. I'm only at 4, so I could have put the Chieftain out there and swung, but like I said, I expected him down. Now he's at 15 health. Now look at this. This is turn 5. I'm going to cast the Chieftain, and I'm going to kick the Bushwhacker, and I believe this is exactly 15 damage. So at this point, if he can't kill my creatures, the game would be over. I'm not sure who paused it here, but this game is pretty quick compared to the second one. I'm kicking this, giving it haste. It's going to be a 3-3, a 3-3, a 4-3, a 3-3, and then they get the Battle Cry when they all swing. So, but he took care of that. He needed to do that. I think it might have been actually over 15 damage. But anyway, now I have 2, 4, 7, what's that, 9? And the Battle Cry should buff them a little bit. Just as it did. If he doesn't kill the Goblin Chieftain, obviously that game's over. Actually, it's over by quite a few points. And now he's on a 3 life, and I got 4 creatures on the board. I'm in good shape. But no, he's a turn 6 Titan, and that's game over for me. I know it's game over. It comes in, it does 3 damage. He can kill 3 of my Goblins right now. 1, 2, 3, boom. When he swings, next turn he can kill another one. The only way I can win this game pretty much at this point is with a Goblin Grenade. Even a Siege Gate, maybe a Siege Gate Commander, but I still don't even think that would help me win. The only thing I could draw is a Goblin Grenade to win this game. This game goes on for a couple more turns, but eventually I die because I'm at 18 health right now. There's nothing I can do to that card. There's no way for me to kill it. Gem Palm, Incinerator. There's just nothing. I can't put another creature on the board. He's going to swing now and basically kill it as he does. And he can pump his creature up too, so I'm just pretty much at this point waiting to die. Nothing I can do about a turn 6 Titan against this deck. I came close to beating him. It was a really, really close game. Game 2 came down to 1 turn as well. So I thought they were 2 very competitive games. Game 1 I just ended up with 2 Goblin Grenades, so that kind of just almost cheating in a sense. 10 free, like 10 free damage. So at 1 mana each. But see, basically, even if I cast a creature this turn and he swings, he clears it with the Titan. Without any murder or removal, there's absolutely nothing I can do against that card. As I said, I needed to draw a Goblin Grenade, but it's just not going to happen. Now I don't even have a creature to sacrifice. This actually isn't a bad card. It could keep me alive a turn. I can block, because don't forget he can pump the Titan, but again, he can just swing, kill me, and basically the game's over anyway, no matter what I do. I thought about holding it in my hand, maybe getting the Goblin Grenade next turn, but there isn't going to be a next turn. Because when he swings with the 6/6, he's going to kill my 2/2, and he can pump it up, so pretty much the game's over. Unless I have 2 blockers out there. But all I did was just delay this another turn. The game's over next turn now. There's nothing I can do about it. I should have just actually let him come through. And we have a Searing Blaze here. It's 1 creature down. Now he can swing, do 3 damage to me, pump it up, I'm dead. There it is. Again, this was a close game. He's making choices. He should obviously be killing my 2/2, which he does. And that's the end of my Goblin deck. Hope you enjoyed this video.